17.
So effectively, I can cast. I get one free casting of Avard's Black Tentacles, and whenever I cast that spell specifically, I gain temporary hit points equal to my Warlock level, and damage can't break my concentration from the spell. Environmental factors or going unconscious can, but not damage.
Cool.
All right, we leveled up, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure did.
Ah, crap. There's a button on here. What's that thing?
It's
if
next
you
to your
go over to the-
experience points.
Experience points.
It's either adjusting experience, or if you go over to the cog and shoot down on the right side.
It's not there. Yep, not there. I guess I had to do it manually.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just fix the overlay first.
You still have Justin. Robert's out of focus. Justin is still with animated GIF.
Hell yeah, that's fine
Out
by
of
me.
focus.
Pog.
How am I out of focus? What's wrong?
Oh, just like on the stream, so if they just messing around with that, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we got time
Yeah,
to
in
chill.
Discord you're fine.
I nearly, I did have a good stream on Christmas Eve, but somebody really wanted me to play a specific game, and they were like, "Oh, do you have a donation button?" I was like, "I don't actually," so I have to set that up. So the first time somebody has offered me to donate money, just so I could actually buy the game. So
you're lucky.
Oh yeah.
I've had people want to donate to me too, but I just haven't set it up yet because I don't have enough followers for it. So.
Yeah, but I mean, you can also. I don't have enough followers to do that, but I will get a PayPal donation button.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that.
Yeah, the game they wanted me to buy was Drakensang.
Oh, Drakensang.
Yeah, it's supposed to be German. It's based on a German RPG, very popular German RPG. Well, Germany, of course.
God damn it, Justin.
And it's supposed to be very much similar to Dragon Age. It's like, oh, this guy was really singing his praises. Like, yeah, I'll give you the money. You can buy it. It's like, oh, yeah, sure. But it was like,
is that? I think I know the one that you're talking about. I've never played it though, but I don't know anything if it's good or not. So
no. I also bought 1 month subscription to SWOTOR. So because I hit the free level cap, and I was like, I guess I gotta buy it.
Yeah, if you're having fun, you may as well, right?
Yeah. I'm about to finish just the first storyline anyway, I think.
And what you should do is get the free version of EverQuest.
And
just pretend it's like $19.99 again.
Remember when they were gonna make EverQuest 3?
Yeah,
I do.
Then they
canceled it. Never did it.
They kind of folded into another company immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had development for like a year.
Dude, they're still making expansions for the first EverQuest. Like, just think about that for a minute.
What?
Yeah, there's like 28 expansions for that fucking thing. One of them came out like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. No, I mean, what I'm gonna do with SWOTOR is I just pay 1 month, and then I'm not gonna pay it again, and that'll unlock all the stuff that I need anyway. So it's almost like buying the game.
Yeah.
The equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was like
definitely worth in that game.
I remember when that game was the game that was the most expensive game ever made up to that point, at $100 million.
And now that happens so damn often.
Yeah. Now 75 million just gets you in the door. It's like, yeah, well, I think I'm gonna make a game for how much? 75. Oh yeah, just sit down with the dev over there and they'll tell you what to do. Yeah. Yeah. Also the reason why EA gobbled up BioWare.
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Well, because
they purchased BioWare because BioWare was literally. There was a chance that Dragon Age Origins was never going to come out. Let's put it that way. And after Mass Effect, it sold well, but not well enough, the first Mass Effect. So they started working on that. They started working on Dragon Age Origins. They were doing a Jade Empire 2, which turned into a Cyberpunk Jade Empire, which actually would have been pretty cool if they got that out there.
Yeah.
And then EA purchased their studio along with Pandemic, because they formed like a partnership or something like that to try and stay afloat, because both of them were floundering at the time. And it was like $70 billion for the purchase. And, well, Pandemic's gone because they couldn't make a hit. There goes the dog. And BioWare's still alive somehow.
Yeah. Well, actually, what happens before that, they were making SWTOR, but they were going cost overruns. They went to Rick Ricotello, who was between jobs at EA, and he had a holding company that basically lent them the money. And in the process, essentially, he just had BioWare in the hand. So when he went back to EA, then what Robert said happened. Basically, he was able to say, convince the board, like, "Hey, I got BioWare right here, and they got some cool things, and the Star Wars. They're doing the Star Wars license, so let's get to it." Otherwise, SWTOR would have ruined BioWare. Essentially, they couldn't have avoided it. It's a good game, but it was a bad move at the time they made it, because that was a time when the wave of MMOs was crashing hard, right? It went up the hill all the way to the 13 million subscribers that WoW had, and then that was the absolute top. Although Destiny has 25 million users, but it's a games as a service on console, so it's not the same thing. Anyway, I think we're ready. All the people are in the right place, I suppose.
Yep.
And then Robert left.
Or I think so. Yeah, stream looks good.
Yeah. Justin, I have to say that there's a picture behind you, and it looks like it's Ghost Jesus coming in and out. So I guess I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway,
it makes me so
Christmas.
happy to see that.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly why it is too. It's because the picture, it has like physical bodies in it. So it's the camera picking up on the shapes.
It's not the chroma then. Anyway, let's get started while Robert deals with the doggos. Hi everybody. The first game after Christmas, and I do believe this might be the last game of the year to celebrate. We're gonna start with Theta introducing his character, and we'll know everybody else down the road.
Well then, I'll just say what I was about to type out loud. If you ever look at my character sheet, I don't know if you do that during play. I'm reducing my total spell slots in order to be able to maintain 36 undead at once. That way I'm not forgetting anything like what spells I have available. I don't have any 3rd or 4th level spells available.
Wow.
Tavian doesn't, I mean.
Yes, of course, Tavian.
Just a chill dude that used to live in a mansion until this group of kids and their dog came by and went into my basement and unleashed my Doom Demon. You don't know how long it took me to craft that Doom Demon. I have a whole video game series based on it. It's going to be a real hit with the kids once it stops killing them.
Those dang kids and their pesky dog, too.
And next up we have Griffin.
Hey everybody, I'm Griffin. I'm playing Baron Kicks the Shield. He's a hero who believes that you should charge in and do the things. Let me find the words. Yes, stand up against all challenges. He's cool and calculating and has an immense ego and delusions of grandeur.
Next up we have Justin.
All right, I am Justin. It's been a while since I've been here, but I'm playing Marcus Klein Ollivander, who is a lovely noble who is currently in between being an asshat and just being who he actually is.
Next up, we have a very cold Pandaren.
Well, not resistant to cold damage. What can I say? But yeah, I'm playing Axios Kyrakis, the tiefling bard, who is not disguised as a human anymore, who's kind of insecure, unsure of himself, but, recognizes that. Trying to do some self-improvement and career stuff. Very excited to play mathematics and Dungeons and Dragons.
And last but certainly not least, we have Robert.
Hello. I'm playing Lael the Monk, who is not happy right now because he's kind of found out that apparently, whether it's the necromancer or the enemy that they're fighting, apparently they're in cahoots with folks that killed his past family. So we got to take care of that quickly
Mm-hmm.
before I murder more people.
How you think about them? Your past family?
He's going full edgelord.
Yeah.
Well, that must mean he has a new family. I wonder who that could be.
It's obviously you, Theta.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it's like the whole you can't replace a child thing. I don't think about my dead children as my past children. I think about them as my children. That's why I'm actively trying to get them to alive again.
The children that I once, the children that once I knew.
Yeah, when you put the word past in front of it, it's like I've given up.
It's,
Well,
That's
no,
the
it's
past
more so-
now. You can't mess with the past.
I think of it this way: enlightenment comes with a understanding that you cannot change the past, but you can definitely affect it for the future.
Sure, Ryu's Ryu from Street Fighter's most effective form is the one where he doesn't give a shit about anything anymore.
I
Which
didn't
is
even know we had. I didn't even know we had a different form.
Yep, we have
He's got
we
3
have-
of them.
reacted to that one on Death Battle already, I think. So
The
Street
the
Fighter's
base
crazy,
form,
y'all.
the evil form, and the enlightened form.
So, did you
enlightenment
play
is
Street
all about
Fighter-
not giving a shit.
Did you play the
True.
Street Fighter with the superhero Mexican luchador named Skullomania?
Nah,
I don't know anything about Street Fighter.
I've done
Look
4
up
and
that
5.
Look up that one, buddy.
That's right. I already watched G Gundam. I get my fill of racist stereotypes of every country. My favorite is the Luchador Gundam with the tequila and the bandito belt and the giant hat.
My favorite is the windmill.
Which one? There's a
Which
ton of
one?
them.
Oh, there you go. Which one?
I do love the Dutch Gundams.
Yeah.
Which is not a joke. These are all real things. G Gundam is real
I-
Today
sad
we're
in its
building our own
racism.
mech.
I've seen those pictures before. Ooh, boy.
Yeah. Anyway,
Should have started
Getting to
with
a-
that one on the reaction series.
moving to a slightly less racist game called Dungeons and Dragons. And we last time you defeated but did not vanquish completely the Ghost Lord. You sent him packing, and as you're returning to the keep, the heavy snow and ice is dissipating. It's still cold, but not as cold as it was before. Now we'll get a very mild, I think in degrees, it will probably rise the temperature over a couple of days, about 40 degrees or so. So it'll be about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So chill, definitely, but not, buried in snow. Although most of the snow probably will last weeks or months, and most people don't have shovels for that. So, or snow plow. So that'll take a while. And so you back in the keep. You receive, there's waiting for you. There is a message and a person. As you sent your messages north, this individual is there. Let's see.
Was I in the fight with this Ghost Lord individual, or was I at the keep? While they were doing that?
I think we left you at the keep, so you know this person. In fact, you know him more by reputation than anything else.
Oh yeah.
It's Count Willem Eckert, and he is an envoy from Greyhawk. He basically says that troops are on the way, and basically 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 companies of infantry, and at least and a mix of infantry and cavalry. But that's basically all the Greyhawk can spare for this region, right? He believes that if he can spread them around to different places, then that with your fortifications still being standing, etc., that you have a chance to, and now that you defeated most of the vanguard, then the remaining army, if they do come around, could be attacked from multiple places and be surrounded. So he doesn't believe that this is a big threat at the moment. But this is just the initiative. These troops can't stay here forever, right? They're an emergency deployment, and he is saying that there will be a summit either in Narwhal or Safeton to plan what your guys are what's going to happen next.
Mhm.
Who will be attending?
Well, the Baron, of course, the leadership of Narwhal, or the leadership of Safeton, between the 3 locations, I think, and the leadership of Pascorel as well. And we also have a dwarven envoy, which you already know, which is the ambassador to the region. He's also going to be attending.
Is it possible, and I asked Kix this, is it possible maybe to extend an invitation to people at Narwhal as well, since they're involved in this?
I believe we sort of represent them. He may already have an invitation, but he
Well,
doesn't have much of a force.
I just said either it's the people. I don't know if I cut out. Sorry. Either if it's in Narwhal, then the people in Narwhal will be there. If it's in Safeton, then the people in Narwhal will send a representative.
Yeah, I didn't hear Narwhal in there. Sorry.
My problem is I didn't hear just about any of it the moment that I saw this guy's picture. Is he married?
Is he married? Well, yes. Why?
I don't know. I just don't imagine him having a wife.
I mean,
You can't just say that.
He could still be married.
Look,
I mean-
it's fine if he doesn't. I'm just saying that it just seems so unlikely.
he looks like
Man.
a red wizard of Thay if it was trendy.
Tavian
Yeah,
says this
actually.
man does not fuck.
I didn't say that. That's not what I said. In fact, I think he fucks a lot. Just not that way.
I think he gets fucked a lot. Anyway,
Well, okay, that's semantics are important, I guess. If you're Roman.
I just imagine
that's
there's like a coy hand just off the, off frame. So I'm not making fun. I'm just saying it's a real vibe going on here.
Mhm.
I should heal myself.
I am gonna save that picture. So I can use that for later.
I think I would have, in that time, gotten the general information on how the other fronts are faring.
Basically, what he knows, he tells you that, of course, you stop the attack. There were a pincer movement. You stop the attacks that were going north to Narwhal, Narwhal, and so those Narwhal never got touched, but they had to mobilize a militia just in case. So they have a couple of units, but not many. And Safeton has suffered significantly. Like the shipyards and the marine barracks and all that got trashed. The enemy was repulsed, but with great losses.
Okay.
So they had to move Marines from other places as well, and that's going to take time as well. So yeah.
Okay, and in that case, as soon as Kix gets back,
Mhm.
I will update him with that information so he is fully aware going into any.
What about
discussions.
hard by?
No attacks on Hardby. There being attacks off the coast. There was an increase in piracy.
Yeah,
But no.
but there
direct
hasn't been
attack.
any big action.
No.
I'd say, yeah, because Hardby was attacked by pirates.
Yeah,
We got told
there
that.
hasn't
Remember
been
when we
like a
were
direct invasion attempt or
when we talked to your friend via your sending stone or whatever it was? They told us that they were under attack.
That was Safeton.
That was Safeton.
No, Safeton's also under attack. When we
Well, yeah.
called for help, everyone was under attack, and then Greyhawk sent forces to both of those places, which is why we're not getting help. That's what I'm saying. Both places are under attack, according to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So he updates you on that and says that, well, there were no direct attacks. Yeah, there were attempts, attacks on shipping going in and out of Hardby. So, they still have to be, and also because of the recent political unrest, Greyhawk certainly doesn't want to lose the city either. So, a lot of reasons
it's
why they need
the
to.
main port from the sea. Hardby. I guess both of them are. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
One just
But yeah.
is connected to the river that goes this way, and the other one is, larger and just off the coast.
Yep,
Mhm.
I would have been doing everything I could to set up for when the troops get back, or like for when those troops arrive.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I want to save any important conversation for when our full forces are here.
One of the problems we have right now is that because this place doesn't get hit with this amount of cold, a lot of the citizens are either at or inside the castle. And they're coming in back and forth, trying to get as much food and water as possible.
Oh,
And
that's
blankets.
that's
and all
easy
kinds of-
for me to deal with.
Yeah. Food, blankets.
I will gladly put in days of period of work to get these places set up for when it's cold, because I don't have to worry about the cold, so I can get people set up so they can move back into their houses and not be worried about it. So I will. That can easily be the reason why I was back.
And also, you be lobbying the elves to allow for great air cutting down of wood, because people need to get maintain warmth. You can make a charisma roll for that.
I would love to do that.
Persuasion
and what
check,
I would also like to do as part of that is to see what animals need to be hunted right now due to for population balance, and possibly get furs that way to help out with that same problem. So it's not just, hey, I want to cut down all your trees.
Yeah, you know that in winter usually the deer disperse and they go to their to places where they can keep warm. So most of the time the wolves in this area, they basically hunt smaller prey like rabbits or large rodents, that sort of thing. But if you can get your hands on some deer, that might help, right? A good size kill can feed a family basically for a couple of days.
100%. I would effectively work with the elves to offset what will help us survive without taking too much. Especially with where my powers come from as well. Like, I think it makes a lot of sense for the collaboration with the natural order of like elven tradition.
Yeah. In fact, basically the elves point you to sick trees, which that's what they do, but they now doing more, but those are not enough there. So they basically designated areas where you can clear cut, right? But they also said that once there was a clear cut, then when spring comes, that you're quoting your quota right now in lieu of what you were going to cut later in the year, because of course they need to, new samplings have to grow and all that. So,
1,000,000%. No, I fully get it.
But there's a lot. In fact, when the rest of the party arrives, there's a lot of like tents and stuff like that where people have in and around the keep, because going back up. There's a small town that is growing near your keep, but it's not complete. That people have made some of them there. And in fact, the one inn that you have here is full to burst, because it's one of the places where you can have a lot of people there as well. And so that's what's going on. So. And not only you have to you also supply for the troops that are remaining here. You actually have a house guard, which is what's remain here. Although the troops are on the field, but they're coming back.
So I think when the group is getting back, they see a site that they might be used to, and the people from our keep might be used to, but anyone else will be thrown off, which is Marcus effectively in like summer clothes, chopping wood in the middle of winter.
Okay. People look at you oddly, but they're like, no, we don't have time to dwell on the fact that this man is doing work.
Look, we gotta have something for Count William to look at, okay?
And they would have had to get used to it, because like from the beginning, he doesn't have winter clothing, and like when he works, he'll take a layer off and keep working and help people out, and by the end of the day, he's just walking around no shirt, like light footwear and some light pants.
Yeah.
Marcus, officially the guy that refuses to wear anything except shorts.
Yeah. And literally steaming in the middle of winter. Steam is rolling out of his skin.
Could be a lot worse, I guess.
And like, I have a constitution of 18. Like, to pull a Captain America line, I can do this all day.
Yeah.
Well, you will.
So, yeah.
You're here all day.
So you arrive, and the Count introduces himself. Well, once you get indoors, he's not going to wait you outside. He doesn't have to.
Oh, yeah.
My lord, Good to see you again. Or should I say, we met briefly in your party when you were made Baron. I am Count William Eckford. Willem, for my friends, or just Will. I bring glad tidings from the north. Well, as glad as they could be in this very cold season. I believe that we are moving troops in this area. I managed to convince the general to give us at least 6 companies, but we'll have to spread them real thin, as well as some supplies. Not much. I heard that you went out to get rid of this foul weather. Is that correct, sir?
We did, and we managed to excise the source of it, though of course we merely managed to make them rout. They are not fully defeated, but I don't think they'll return again. Still, at least warms my heart to see that help has finally arrived. It's good to have you here.
The troops cannot stay more than, say, a month at most. After all, that will stretch our supply lines thin in the middle of winter. However, that should be able enough to discourage any attack north. The way they are dispersed, if they move through the across the river, and in the open plains, we could basically surround them and crush them.
Wonderful.
At least for now, anyway. However, that doesn't solve the problem of future attacks. If they were so bold as to launch such a deep penetration into our lines in the middle of winter, I suspect that when summer comes, it will be worse. And I do not intend to wait so long. That's not my general as well. So there is the agreement to where we're going to have a summit to deal with this. It could be in either Narwhal or Safetown. Whichever you feel more convenient.
Well, I do have my preference for Narwhal, and it is, of course, right here where the attacks are happening. Though Safeton has their own issues, I understand.
Yes, I did. There were some runners, and they described the extensive damage to the armory and the shipyards. We basically lost almost all the ships therein, which means offensive action, at least at sea, will be difficult.
So it's up to us in this front, then, whatever happens.
Well, unless we can be a little more creative, but I believe we can meet. I can send a message, and in a week's time, we can meet in Narwhal and go from there.
That's wonderful. Of course, you are welcome to stay here as my guest. We have rooms here within our keep. You are welcome to stay as long as you wish.
Very well. I'll take my leave.
Very well.
So, unless anybody's going to do anything particular during this week of preparation and moving to Narwhal, Narwhal's a little closer than that. It's for you, but it'll be a week to set everything up. People of Safetown coming here, etc., and the troops being deployed. In fact, the troops, the two companies arrived about 3 days later after the Baron. So, you're basically coming out, and they're coming in.
Yes, we are coming
Wonderful.
out.
We're going to be doing this all stream, aren't we?
I'm sorry, I'll close the picture.
I'd like to do some meditation, see if I can contact Xinjia. I believe I'm saying that right.
Sanji.
Is that how you say it?
I'll get some water.
Yeah.
I thought it was Zhanya, or anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to try and contact her for guidance because I'm still kind of mad. And, I got to calm myself before we go, I go too overboard.
Make a wisdom roll.
Just straight wisdom?
Straight wisdom.
Not horrible.
You find yourself in your room, in your small room, right? And you're sitting there, and then all of a sudden the view changes, and you are. It's very weird because half of the room seems to be in a desert, and the other half, the half that you're in, is in a forest. And you see a woman painted with a sort of a face mask, and she has 2 swords in her bag. Also aping the meditation. It's like, well, child, speak, and y'all shall listen.
I actually stay silent for a few moments before I gather my thoughts, and then I guess I open my eyes and look at her face for the first time because I would assume I have my eyes closed,
Mhm.
and I will say, the powers you have given me, they've been great, but the rage, the anger has not gone away. And now I'm close to them, and I'm afraid of what I will do to them all.
Mm. That is why you have the powers of shadow. Your soul is called between the two places, the light of day and enlightenment, and the darkness of your own heart. Find the balance between them, child, and you will find the way to victory. Your enemies lies in the shadows. Your job is to drag them to the light, by any means necessary.
It's very easy to say that. It has been more difficult to do. Not that I don't relish the challenge, as you may know.
Of course not. You have the abilities and the powers, both within and without. Do you know the real meaning of power?
It depends on who you ask, I guess, for that. Many have already contemplated their own meanings.
I point you a very simple definition of power: the ability to do, which is what you're seeking. In this case, to defeat. And what they seek is to conquer.
If that's what they seek, then preventing them from conquering would be the showcase of my power, yes?
Exactly. Extend your hand.
I do so.
You see that the hand reaches and can reach her, but you can't touch her. What would you need to touch me? From the sitting position.
Oh god, I gotta think about that for a second because it's like a really good riddle. The first pop thing that this is out of character right now.
Yeah.
First thing that popped in my head was literally throwing a dart at her, but I feel like that's a bad idea. So I don't know. I gotta think about this for a second. All right, I'm gonna. So she asked that, and I have my hand out. What do I need to touch her?
Without moving from the sitting position.
Is it dark where she is?
No, it's bright. It's like she has a very long shadow, but she's in her side of this. It's just white there.
Would I be able to do like the teleport thing within her shadow or no?
You don't feel like that's that kind of shadow.
Okay, just checking. I actually don't know the answer to this, because like I said, throwing something at her is not necessarily the idea.
It's very close. It's almost like your fingers can almost touch her, but she's barely out of reach.
Okay, that's actually good for metaphor then. I'll say to her, well, I would need at this range, it would be just a few extra inches. Incentive, a push, something of that nature.
We need something to extend your reach, would it not? Sorry, I don't know if that cut out.
I heard it. Extend my reach. I'm trying to think. And I actually will say, well, what could do it that is of natural means?
Look around.
Outside of stretching my body.
Remember, your side is in a forest. Her side is in this desert.
In the desert. Okay. Is there a stick nearby?
Yeah.
I grab the stick.
And you poke her.
And I poke her.
And she smiles. What would you call that stick? in the most basic sense.
A staff, a pole arm, an object, an item that can extend reach.
A tool.
Ah, I see. Okay.
There are limitations to what you can do. We all have limitations. Even I have limitations. But with tools, you can reach that sense. But more so than that, when we have others that can do what we cannot do, friends, allies, then we can do more. We have greater power. Do you understand, child?
Yes.
And she bows. And as she does, she just basically fades into sand and sand sort of recedes away. And you're left in the forest.
As she bows and disappears, I also do.
Yeah. And you cut off.
Following that, I would like to go to Tavian
Mhm.
and see if I can get some assistance in looking up individuals in the Greyhawk area who might also be in on this fight against the five-headed horror that is Tiamat.
Okay.
Remember, anybody that brings a book through our territory gets added to my library magically.
Yeah.
Because Rami, you're gonna ask him if there's anybody who's willing to help you with the fight.
So I would effectively like to research into who I should talk to, or who I should try and get a hold of. But if there's anybody who would be able to assist getting that knowledge, or would be the best person to work with, it would be Tavian.
Well, I mean, I know at least one person I would suggest off the bat without the GM having to prompt me with who they would want. You know, in fact, I would say this is the point where I would tell you somebody without the GM telling me somebody else. Because I know exactly one person. That's my good friend, the Half-Drow. Who you've met before, in fact. Who has connections because he's an older previous adventurer.
Absolutely, that is a great place to start. I will spend some time looking there.
No, he's all the way up north, so.
I'm also thinking about just anybody else who might be trying to keep hidden beyond them. If we can research and find out, I will do my best to be the best assistant possible in doing so, but...
Out of character real quick before we finish this conversation, because I need to know what my time is spent with before, or rather, if it has to be spent doing lessons. Would this week be long enough to make that pot?
Yeah. Well, if you don't go with the rest of the group to the meeting, and you spend all the week working on the pot, and you have the 500 gold Roth iron, then yeah.
Does Marcus bring this up before we leave or after we leave?
Oh, it would be before. It would be like once we have a general idea of what's going on. But it's also not like, we need to do this right now.
Right. I'm just thinking, great time to ask for a loan.
After I wake up from my meditation,
Jesus. I don't know if I could help you with that.
You don't have 500 gold? You who's always rich all the time?
I have 50. I have 54.
That's 5 times as much as I have.
If you want it, you can have it.
Sorry, Robert, you were saying, Leon, you were saying?
No, it's okay. After I wake up from my meditation, I actually want to find Zigzag.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask him, you said a while ago something about outfitting my arm with a gauntlet?
Well, I could make you an entire arm.
How long would it take to make it?
It'll take about a month, give or take.
Mm.
Real quick,
Kinda
Zigzag
needed
doesn't
with
have
him.
an affliction to his voice.
He does now.
No. All of my characters are one-faced. I have no acting skills. They all have my voice.
Well, I can't imitate your voice, and he's a gnome, so he's like,
Well, just talk with your normal voice. He just talks with a normal voice.
Okay. He says, "Yeah, it'll take a month. I do have the materials already. Will be the mithril. So yeah,
Can you please make that for me?
sure.
It is much appreciated. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll discuss the powers that it has when it finally is installed.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Knocks on doors really loudly.
So yeah, that's a thing. So who's gonna stay? Who's gonna leave?
Well, I guess I'm gonna go talk to Kix.
Okay.
Hello.
The fun thing that I always love doing.
Tavian.
Hey,
It's good to see you.
I'm
It
working
always
on.
makes me happy.
I'm working on stuff for the war effort, right?
Yes, we plan to go to the meeting soon.
Right. Well, I cannot attend the meeting as I need to work on building an object to go along with the other thing that I left for the mines for.
Ah, you were successful in your mission. What did you acquire?
Crystals. Crystals will hold souls in them.
To hold souls. I
Yeah.
see. And what is the thing that you'll be working on?
I need to make a wrought iron pot, which is why I'm going to see you. I need a small infusion of funds in order to be able to make it.
Ah, I see. Let me go ahead and check my notebook here.
Crap, he's got a book.
No. Well, I still have to keep tabs on the inventory and everything. Where is it? Stronghold Sense. Here we
Instantly
go.
loses 100 pounds.
Oh yeah. We currently have 4,300 gold in the treasury.
Right, I just need 500.
It is done. I look forward to seeing your success.
As do I.
As always, wonderful to see you, Tavian.
Travion?
Well, that's what I said. Well, go along. I got nothing to say to that.
Yeah.
Tavian?
Yeah.
Hey, it was a good joke.
Okay.
It's a good joke. We don't miss it.
Nope.
I did. I
Anyway.
have no idea what we just said that we're laughing about.
Anyway,
We'll figure it out later.
so you're gonna stay. Everybody else is correct.
Well, I assume
I
someone
will-
else is staying. Maybe not
Yeah,
PCs,
Kix
but I
wants to
mean,
go, so he's going.
we have
basically.
guards here,
Yeah, but
scouts, cooks,
mhm.
farmers.
I would leave that up to Kix, because I know that Kix is already bringing somebody who is very charismatic and has been paying attention to and like there and paying attention. So
What,
if he tells me to stay, then I'll stay. But if not, I would probably like to go see and be present for the talks.
Right. Well, we do still have technically our plan with Pasquarel for you. I suppose that's up to you if you'd rather do that than attend a meeting.
Nope. Meeting.
Alright. Meeting it is.
Okay. Anyone
I will-
else is going?
I mean, if you need me to protect you, I'll go.
Yes, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. So, up to Narwhal you go. You have the leadership of Pasquarel. Pasquarel there. You as now the only frontline baron there. The leadership of Narwhal and the leadership of Satan as well as representatives. The count representative of Greyhawk. Why am I forgetting and blanking out on basic things like that?
On the way there, I would actually like to use the sending stone that I have and check in with the lovely woman in charge of Hardbuy.
Mhm.
If she has any advice going into this sort of meeting.
You explain the situation to her. It's like she says, well, my advice is that a swift strike to catch them while they're unbalanced will be best. If nothing else, we need to buy time to reorganize our defenses across the board. So movement of large armies in this situation might not be the best thing to do.
Noted. Thank you very much for your input.
Thank you for saying. But and you hear like a second voice. Remember that she's not alone.
100%.
She says, "The pearl in the hand is in the maw of the worm." And sort of goes back to the original voice. Like, sorry, she likes to do that from time to time. I have no idea what that means.
Neither do I at the moment, but hopefully I will figure it out.
You can make an intelligence check.
I'd love to. I'm not that dumb. Would history apply?
It would be more like religion.
Right. I know about religion. I know that it's a thing.
It sounds as cryptic as you heard it.
100%.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you are feeling the same way as your friend. It's like, that's what sounds
Well, this
important.
is also speaking to someone who like never paid attention to any of his religious teachings.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I don't need to worry about gods. I'm going to be talking with art dealers. Why do I need to know about this crap?
Yeah. So yeah, you meet in the office. Well, you meet in a tavern in the gateway. But there's the Shire Reeve, there's a count. The place is packed, right? City guards are outside, and you bring your own, house guard and all that. So yeah, this place hasn't seen this kind of commotion in a very long time. And the Shire Reeve basically takes a seat and sort of gestures like, "Well, we are here." Now, the issue at hand is what do we do? Do we hold our positions and wait for another attack? Do we take the offensive? And you see that the dwarf commands like the Ironbeard is like, well, I'm sorry to say that, well, we were preparing for a attack in the summer, late spring, early summer. We're not ready to counter strike right now. Moving forces and the like. Well, that takes a lot of moxie. We simply don't have it. We can send some raiding parties, but that will be it. And I said, well, that might distract them a bit, but I cannot guarantee we can pull enough forces for it to be successful, at least for a joint operation. The one thing you don't want to do is make sure that all nasty orcs get united, fending off an invasion. Unless you're really ready. And what I've seen, you have a good defensive force, but that's not the same thing as going the offensive. Well, that's just my 2 coppers. And he sits back down.
He does speak the truth, and I think the most important factor is, where would we attack? Were we to strike again? To counterattack?
The count is like, well, whatever we have to do, it has to be deep in their territory. That's way down south.
Do you believe they have 2 large cities down there, from what I recall?
Well, they have a series of small city-states that they captured that were part of the Wild Coast and the Porch. Each one of them is a center of commerce or what have you. We do have some reports, but they're very unreliable on what's going on down there. One of them is that the High Port is in the middle of a religious war of some sort. That's about it, really. Which one of the reasons why we actually initially dismissed this attack on us. I believe that it couldn't be so coordinated. They were so preoccupied. Whoever's doing this doesn't care about Highport. Or maybe they don't control the entirety of the Porch.
Or possibly whatever is going on, the big overarching problem is the distraction.
Maybe.
Beyond simple ideas, though, I do have on consult from the leadership and hard by a recommendation. If we do have a point to strike at, a swift strike would be their recommendation, and I tend to agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that we need to show them that we're not just going to wait and let them beat at the walls until they fall.
Because we
Yes.
do have an objective then.
A smaller team might be able to go in if we're gonna find
I-
a way to snake them in.
That is, I think that is ideal. And if we place people to put forces in spots where they can support each other, but at the same time still control the border while the smaller team goes in there and eliminates targets that are affecting morale, then possibly we can actually maybe even uncover who's truly behind this. Extreme to say, but if we uncover this as a plot against the orcs and their kind just as much as ours, and they're a tool, we could possibly turn their ire towards the true foe.
It's also possible that the force invading right now is not actually under command of the Empire, more like if a general went out to go and get personal glory and such. That kind of situation is also possible.
Not unheard of in the chaotic politics of the Empire.
And we know that this group is at least affiliated with the triangle symbol, which means it's probably not fully controlled by the Empire.
They also
We
have
have-
outside help, no? This ghost lord that we saw.
By your
Well,
reports,
shoot.
it seems to be related to this cult or the. By the way, Kix, did you at some point give a? Well, I guess you don't. The triangle explain to you. Never mind.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've seen it before.
yeah. But nobody fully explained the one person that knew kept their mouth shut. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? I didn't tell everybody about the Omnipotent Organization of Magic Users? No.
I'm trying to think what was said that Kix knows, and it's just not coming to me right now because it's been months.
Yeah.
I know I didn't say anything, and every time it's ever come up, it's always been, you've seen this symbol before because of
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who was actually there were two people there who actually saw it form. Actually, I think everybody saw it form. So everybody was there when it formed.
So, Hugh was
Hugh
there when
certainly,
it formed.
Hugh certainly was there, and he wasn't alone.
No, I
Somebody
mean that the times that you brought it up, you're like, you've seen Gar had a symbol like this as the introduction of where you've seen it before.
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about the moment because it actually is in the YouTube channel where Gar picked up the last
we put out a
piece
lot of videos.
Yeah, it actually completed. I know Hugh saw it, and he wasn't alone. Hugh was somebody else, but I remember was it Leo? Yeah, Leo was there as well.
Yeah.
Now, you remember seeing the triangulus form.
Wasn't Bearcat
Together.
there?
No, Bearcat, I think.
This was down in the pit with the giant snake, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Bearcat
so I was
didn't
there.
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Famously,
So
we had
everybody-
that whole confrontation about, can I counterspell his dimension door?
Yep.
So yeah, anybody. So they know that is related to that symbol, and that symbol originally started appearing after you went into the sunken ship, which was related to the gold that was being snuck into the city, which part of it also went to pay for the problems that were happening in Hardbot. So this seems to be a long, all the things seem to be coming. This group, it's either helping or moving all these things to take down Greyhawk, essentially.
I'm pretty sure my sheet still has all these fucking notes on it too.
Right.
Doesn't matter to
Prioritizing
me
their
anymore,
destruction
but it's
would
still
be-
there.
is on the
outside of the
agenda.
port that we've been to,
Mhm.
what is the closest trading port with Greyhawk?
To the Porch.
Or at least in relation to the direction that our clues have indicated.
That would be the Port of Blue. And that's way south. So you need a ship
In the Paul March?
in the Porch, yeah.
Isn't that the... God, was it High Keep or something like that? It's the only human thing still in the Paul March?
No,
the port?
there's two of them, Blue and Highport.
Highport. I knew it was High something.
Yeah, but he already said that the problem with Highport was, and one of the reasons why when they heard about the movie, they didn't believe them. The last report from Highport, there's some humans there, and they do have some agents there, is that they're basically an open religious war there. Like evil cults and religions are just, fighting over everything. And Gar knows about Highport. He's not here, but because that's what he went through when he was
Yeah,
on his
that's
way north.
how I left
Yeah.
Paul March. I mean, how
Yeah.
Gar left Paul March.
So
We may also want to take into account investigating ports that might have shipped into Greyhawk discreetly and possibly finding connections there.
you do know some people from the Pomarch as well who own ships, or a ship at least.
But I think I think we need to determine a target, send a small force, but keep the defenses up in a way that they can support each other. So it's not just a single line of one or two retinue, but one or two where they're close enough for a third to sweep in and support.
Well, I think right now an invasion of the kind of the question. So when he says a small force, he means, a handful of people.
Mhm. Nope. And I'm completely agreeing with him. It's just more finding the direct point to send at
Mhm.
versus just saying, "Oh, 10 people go kill a city." Like that doesn't work.
Well, I mean, you say that, it's like, well, I think we should not go after an entire city. I would not expect anyone to do that. However, if we can locate this leadership, I mean, they have to have leaders, right? And the reports talk about this XR Cool.
Yeah, I'm
No,
trying to remember if we've
yeah.
heard it before.
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Mhm.
That was the documentation that you found on the guy on the bridge. Actually, yeah.
So it was, yeah.
That pointed at Azarkul, at Wormlord Koth and the ghost, and the Ghost Lord.
Mhm.
That's been the commanders. But Azarkul,
Every time you bring up the bridge, I always think of the bridge where nobody dies. Or I guess they're dead already, but they keep coming back. It's a weird bridge. Still fighting to this day, they say.
Do we have any
So-
means of locating this individual?
I'll have to do some reconnaissance there, but we do have some agents down there. If we can get some contacts, perhaps we can try to trace it down.
Yes. Anyone who knows the local area, and maybe even the city itself, would be to our benefit. Anything so we can fit in, maybe infiltrate.
But sadly, we don't have a lot of those at the moment. I mean, that there many. We don't have a lot. I'm on the orcish population of goblin. If you have any suggestions, I will listen to them.
Well, full-on military assault is already out of the question, so I had to come up with something else.
Marcus. We
Yes.
can roll intelligence since everybody seems to be stumped on this.
Hell yeah. Does history apply?
Yeah. You're basically you're being on from memory, basically.
Well,
12.
Yeah, you remember that the way when you came by to Safeton was in a ship crewed mostly by goblinoids, bugbears, that's the like, and that the leader there, the captain of the ship, she was the former leader of syndicate, which in turn was a syndicate of non-humans that had connections to the Porch.